Pieces of Her stars Toni Collette and Bella Heathcote as Laura and Andy Oliver, whose lives are changed in the aftermath of a violent attack.
Get down! Get down!
It features so many twists and time jumps, you might need help untangling them.
I keep waiting for something real to come out of your mouth.
With that in mind, we're going to dig into Pieces of Her and explain why Laura and Andy have so many people after them. Final warning, we're going to be discussing spoilers so major we might need to go into hiding ourselves.
Gotta go! Gotta go!
Before jumping to the end, it's crucial to know exactly who Laura Oliver is. As revealed halfway through the series, Laura's real name is Jane Queller, the daughter of obscenely wealthy pharmaceutical head Martin Queller, and sister to Jasper and Andrew. Through Andrew, she meets Nick Harp, a charming radical who runs a group called the Army of the Changing World. As the pair's infatuation grows stronger, much to her father's disapproval, Jane becomes active in Nick's group, feeding him information and helping out with certain illicit activities.
If you see a car, flash this 3 times.
Jane eventually becomes pregnant with Nick's child, but decides not to tell him, a decision with major consequences for the pair.
And why didn't you tell me?
While keeping her pregnancy quiet, they work on a plan to embarrass her father at a conference in Oslo. The scheme backfires and Martin is shot on stage, which we'll come back to later, and Jane admits her role in crimes in exchange for witness protection. After serving time in jail, Jane and her young child, Andy, who isn't aware of her mother's true identity, go into hiding in Belle Isle. Until the diner attack.
Shoot me!
Jane, now living under witness protection as Laura, is concerned for her and Andy's safety when the attack goes viral, and for good reason. This incident reveals her whereabouts to her brother Jasper and former lover Nick, and forces Andy to leave Belle Isle, with her mother giving her specific instructions on where to go and how to get there.
Look, I will call you as soon as it's safe. When you hear my voice, you can come home. You understand?
Andy's journey takes her across the country and the occasional trampoline park. As she pieces together her mother's real identity, a dramatic twist late on in the show sees her kidnapped by her real father, Nick. Nick takes Andy to the cabin where she was raised while Jane was in prison, convincing Jane to head there to be reunited with her daughter. Nick uses this as an opportunity to interrogate Jane about her pregnancy with Andy. He's also trying to find a tape that Jane has been holding on to. And we'll explain the tape in a moment too.
Where is it?
However, Andy attacks Nick and sets fire to the cabin. The tape Nick was looking for, as well as the ransom money, are seemingly destroyed while Nick tries to escape. Jane catches up to him, ready to kill him. But Andy talks her down, and the FBI arrive to arrest him. Of course, to understand why Nick was on the run, we need to explain Martin Queller's murder in Oslo. Nick's group planned to have Grace Juno infiltrate the panel by posing as Professor Maplecroft and then embarrass Martin by blowing up a dye bag. Grace was motivated by losing her family to one of Quell Corp's drugs. The plan was simple: give her handbag to Martin on stage, where their non-lethal explosive would go off. However, Jane spoke to Grace before she snuck on stage, telling her that she was pregnant and scared of what her father might do to her unborn child. She then convinced Grace to swap bags with her, with Jane hiding a gun in Grace's handbag. Grace then fatally shoots Martin and kills herself. Back in America, the group still have the real Professor Maplecroft to deal with. They plan to let her go after Nick steals her ransom money, but when the professor tries to escape from their hideout, she attacks Nick and he kills her. As Nick kills Maplecroft, the FBI raid their hideout, forcing the gang to flee to a remote cabin. It's here where tensions boil over, as the group discover Andrew was shot in their escape and are divided on what to do.
What are you doing?
I'm taking Andrew to the hospital.
Jane, who is in the early stages of her pregnancy, begs Nick to take Andrew to a hospital, but he violently refuses, which convinces Jane to leave him. She smuggles Andrew to a hospital, but it is too late. While her brother Jasper joins her to try and plot a way out of this situation for Jane, she tells him,
I know all about Oslo.
What?
Don't worry, we can explain that. But what about Jasper Queller's role in all this? Jane's brother is an aspiring vice presidential candidate, and when Andy tracks him down after discovering her mum's true identity, he initially seems to be willing to help her out of the kindness of his heart. His true motivations are murkier. That tape Nick wanted in the cabin? Well, it showed Jasper and Nick working together on the Oslo plan, with Jasper conspiring to become CEO of Quell Corp. Jasper gets his wish of running the company, but knowing that Jane has the tape that could potentially destroy his reputation means he's keen to ensure her silence. When they meet after Nick's arrest, Jane tries to convince Jasper he should find out what Nick has told investigators, and he admonishes her for it. Jane also reveals to him that the tape was destroyed in the cabin fire.
You don't believe me?
However, when a listening device planted on Andy's phone reveals to one of Jasper's employees that Jane was the one who instigated her father's death, it gives Jasper the leverage he craves over his sister, ringing her to flaunt his knowledge and blackmail her. This call introduces a major cliffhanger, with Jasper now holding information over Jane that he'll seemingly want to cash in. With Nick's fate still up in the air, Jane and Andy might not yet have escaped the web of corruption they're trapped in. Of course, we want to hear your theories on what happened in Pieces of Her in the comments. And if you want to keep up to date with the stories behind your favourite Netflix shows, be sure to subscribe to Still Watching Netflix.